our sound now. Let's see. Hello, everyone. This is I, Krakka Cafe, yet again. I will be commentating PG's I Want to Figure Run. He is here and setting up a thing, so we'll get right here in just a moment. Also, MK, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm MQ. I lost by 1 point to Wolfie in Jump Master yesterday, and a year ago I lost the Kermit 2 race against Geo, so I think that's all that needs to be said. I'm all ready for the run.
Yeah. Yep, I'm ready to start the timer.
Alright, count me down.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everyone, this is I Want to Figure. It's a needle game made by Mr. Wonderful. Very, very good. Highly recommend it.
Definitely highly recommended game. I couldn't get past area 0, but I'm sure most of you guys can probably get a little further than me, hopefully. It is mighty tough noodle game.
Hopefully the audio is alright. Please let us know if it's not. I might be too quiet. Tends to be the case.
Do let us know if audio is a little... Okay.
Right now I'm hoping that Franker Facey updates the emotes for chat, as currently if you head over to my Twitch channel you'll see that I have 50 there. But doesn't want to cooperate right now, so we'll see. We got 2 hours. There's a distinct lack of Kermit.
Very distinct lack of Kermit. Oh my god, G Nintendo! I guess for some reason FFZ is not rendering.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take a moment and refresh my Twitch page because it's that important. I need.
Yeah, I'm gonna refresh mine too because it's just turning into a copy paste pasta. Oh man, it's still not a baby for me.
Same. What a shame.
I almost forgot about my extra special bonus for this run. Okay guys, so first fun fact of the run. Figures audio is unbalanced, but you're running the balanced audio version, right? Yeah.
This is not the original version of the game. This is a black market edit. Sorry, Mr. Wonderful. Even though he gave the game to Eileen to set it up for me. We have his permission. The only changes are the audio balance. Nothing else is done. Otherwise, it's the exact same game.
Yep. And I'll make sure for you guys throughout the run I'll be sprinkling in some tidbits about the game and Mr. Wonderful himself. I actually got a very, very exclusive interview with him just not a couple days ago to talk about for this run. It'll be very, very tasty, trust me. Yes, I can start with the first thing that one of the first things that he told me anyway. So this game does have a story. However, this game is a lot like Mr. Wonderful's fine art, so to speak, in that it's basically left up to the viewer interpretation. So you guys can kind of just begin to guess at what this story is about and what it truly means. As Mr. Wonderful will never tell you because it's meant to be interpreted by everyone differently.
It's not as magnificent as Feather 2's story, but it has a pretty good plot.
Yeah, there's no werewolves here, unfortunately, but it's still just pretty dang good. Also, sick corner.
Oh, it's a pretty good death. A little nervous starting out here, but I think that's just anticipation for the run. It is the second last run of the marathon after all, excluding the bonus marathon, which will also be fantastic.
Also, because Mr. Wonderful's a good guy, he intentionally gave you the good line for that. So if Mr. Wonderful wants you to fail, he will give you the line so you do fail.
Very generous game maker.
Very, very much so.
You won't find any S saves here. Right here, by the way, I grabbed the line both for the corner and for the walk-off T-bone. Otherwise, this save's kind of a mess. I mean, it kind of already is a mess. You have to do a drop gate at the end, and there's no good setup for it.
would help now. I'm not commentating in the future. For sure. Excuse me. Peruni.
There are about 70 screens in this game, give or take. It's kind of all over the place now. Most screens are either 1 or 2 saves. There's very, very few saves, or screens in the game that are more than, like, 2 saves.
Oh, as a reward for your question, Patrick, as well, you another something that Wonderful told me about this game. Now, as you notice, probably by now, the floor's numbers are not only are they not in order, but they don't necessarily go in numerical order. The floor numbers are actually have something to do with the age of this story. So, and that was kind of a little hint that Mr. Wonderful said I could tell you guys. The numbers have to do with the age.
That was 2 skips I just did. First of all, you're not supposed to go over the water there, but if you get a precise platform jump, you can skip it. It's a lot harder than doing it normally, but it saves like, 5-6 seconds, so it's a speed run. You're forced to do it. And then also, by grabbing the wall next to the spike that's moving up and down, you have the apple line. If you don't grab that wall, you can get the apple line, but it's right next to the warp. So you have to kind of go out of your way for it at the very end of the screen. You can't jump upwards through apples unless you have a specific align, or if you get a specific animation cycle with the other align. Aligns are just like the set of pixels the kid is walking on. They make jumps easier or harder, sometimes impossible. Change your align by touching different walls. That's the basics of it. Also Sourpuss.
Oh yes, this is very Sourpuss.
Really just like Sourpuss for the entire run. There's very little music in this game I dislike. Like 2 tracks.
Mr. Wonderful is well known for having constant banger tracks, so there will be...
It's a sign of a Mr. Wonderful game with this kind of music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kermit 2 features some similar stuff. And hopefully Kermit 3 will as well, coming out soon, TM.
Yeah, when he had told me that the number actually represents age, Patrick, like, my mind was blown out of proportion, dude. Because I watched MQ do this twice, and it never, ever occurred to me that's what they could mean. But it's a very, very fun fact.
This is the screen with the song that some people like, but never get to hear, because you usually first try it in a run. And it looks like I'm gonna first try it. This entire set of spikes is all RNG, like the direction they're pointed. Every time you restart that room it changes, but the drop is always pretty easy, so it doesn't really matter.
Easy peasy, dude. Although the one thing we do know is that 16 has something to do with jail, as you can maybe kind of tell from the layout and time. This is an absolute fact that Mr. Wonderful did disclose at one point, and another stream and also had told me about as well. It's a pretty tough area, though, I might add. The compartmentalized rooms have some nasty bits of needle all contained within them. It's very claustrophobic.
You can skip this first diagonal, but honestly the jump to do it just is too precise and bothersome on my hands, so I don't bother. It would take longer for me to skip it. Also, I have no idea how I died after the gate. This jump. Not like a difficulty thing, I just don't know where my jump went. It left me. It's very sad.
Unfortunate. My jumps leave me when they shouldn't. They really do. Just when you need them the most.
Sour Please, best song in the game. These are the very
Sour
memorable
Please.
rooms. Like, if you played this game, you remember these rooms. The next one coming up is the most well-known in the entire game.
Yeah, if you've heard people talk about this game, usually this room next about reasons you'll find apparent.
Hopefully the cutting out stops. I really don't know why that's become a problem.
The one that's blind, these couple screens by the way, oh, nightmare, dude.
Yeah, these
Very
screens
much
are really hard blind. This one took me like 30 minutes blind. Now that I've learned it, I usually first try it. Yep. Rip Sour Please. That's the consequence to those screens. They're very pattern-based, so once you learn them, you don't get to listen to the song for very long. It honestly is a tragedy.
It's an unfortunate thing about getting good at fan games, guys. You get real good, then you're practically running a run where you hear no music anymore. It's just a run.
We talked about the numbers earlier, but like this is a very easy way to tell that they're not in order. Currently on screen 2, the next one's 6. I think 11's off in like the corner.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't have Discord notifications muted. What a high professionalism stream. Excuse me for a moment. Notifications. Shoo. Very professional.
But yes, this is where it begins to become very apparent. The numbers are not representative of where you're going. Ooh, gray. That's my favorite color. Well, sometimes my favorite color.
Yeah, OBS is not being too happy with me, I think. Let me actually move OBS over slightly just so I can look at my frames. 82% dropped. Seems to have stopped now, though. If I do drop frames, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. That's on, like, my internet service provider. It happens very rarely. Hopefully that's the only time it happens in the entire run. This jump is deceptively difficult.
Also, another classic Mr. Wonderful he does is if you've played Kermit 2 or Kermit 1, you've run into them before, which is the classic blind transitions. When you go off a screen to the next one, you have no clue what you're going to run into.
Mr. Wonderful plays those. There's a ton of them in his games.
Oh yes, he loves his games full of blind transitions.
Very big fan of debate.
Thanks, Patrick.
For example, that jump. I'm really happy I've basically first tried that. That's not a very easy save.
Dude, nice. That was great.
Not like super hard, but it's not like uncommon to spend a few minutes there. That's some pretty precise jumps in it. Due to how vines work, you're forced to do a full jump in between these spikes up here. Otherwise, you don't have your double jump saved for the vines beneath you.
Also, because MQ hasn't mentioned it yet, there is a secret hidden platform right below the first vine that kind of debates you into trying to do the jump in a way because you don't see it.
Because the screens are connected, you can just fall on the block from the previous one. Makes it slightly easier. Shoutouts to this jump, where everyone on their first playthrough goes for it from here and then dies on the spike. I mean everyone. It's very, very good. At least everyone I've seen. That's a skip. Nope, we're gonna show off the skip again since I didn't talk about it. You just like stutter for a frame. Yeah, that's the skip. Okay. It's a good skip. It's easier than doing the save the actual, like, intended way. Thankfully.
Much easier.
The save the normal way is not... it's not good.
This room in particular is not the nicest room, but the absolute hardest jump, of course, is the very last one. Just like that is always one of the fan game classic tropes, is making the hardest jump the absolute last one, so you get pained.
The jump at the end of the second save is definitely a thing. The save isn't too bad. You can also do a skip here if you want to do the corner right above me, but it doesn't really save time and is like way harder than doing the plane. So I will not be showing it off, unfortunately.
It could be. It very well could be Kanata, or get this, he could have been to a birthday party and then somebody busted open the pool at the party and it spilled in a very particular stream that the kid slid down and somewhat enjoyed, but unfortunately there was a spike at the end of it.
Shoutouts to the Lonely Vine. Poor thing. No one ever goes on it. and it's gone. That's the lonely vine for you.
Farewell, lonely vine. Well, we're also getting very close to the very, very cool rooms here. It's approaching us very shortly.
This next set of screens is my favorite in the entire game. Very, very fun to play through. It's just my kind of needle. I actually recently spoke to someone else who was playing through this game, and these were his least favorite set of screens, so...
You know how opinions are, just like butts, but he has one. Hopefully.
We can hope.
I mean, I like my butt.
The save isn't too bad. The re-jump when you're falling from the save is frame perfect, as is the jump from the edge of this block. But usually I do it relatively quickly. It's just when you happen to miss that block 2 times in a row due to going quickly, you can spend a while here.
This is a speed run, of course. You have to go fast. Sometimes fast is...
It doesn't matter if you die, you gotta go fast. It's always worth it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Tare.
Oh, that's very unfortunate, my dude.
Tragic. There you go. So when you enter that portal, you're going to the left. So if you enter this room holding left, Mr. Wonderful's a swell guy. He wouldn't do that to you.
Mr. Wonderful showing off his wonderful good side. What a beautiful man. So this is probably another good time for another tidbit. With this game, he was exploring various techniques, styles, and gimmicks with things. And this is kind of another thing, because I don't know if he's done much corridor-type needle or mirror-type needle or not in his other games. I don't remember it, but I haven't played through all of them, obviously. And he also said that in the effort of trying out a bunch of things, he wanted to make that the player wasn't inconvenienced too much, so the change in style and gimmicks typically pretty short. It's usually not more than 5 to 6 rooms. And as MQ pointed out to me before, the warp is just slowly going away from it, which gets progressively darker as you progress on through it, which I feel like it must have some little meaning, or it may have no meaning at all, and just he decided to move around for funsies because he wants to debate you. So, always hard to say.
You never know with Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah.
This screen looks hard, but it's surprisingly easy.
Hughes, you fell for it. Oh, rip.
I should probably stop looking at chat and do a speedrun. I'm like, hey, I'll take a quick glimpse at chat. And then it turns out the spike's on a cycle to where I can't go when I look back. Very unfortunate. Fortunately, I'm not blessed with the ability to look at chat during a run. I got Krakka here with me. He won't ignore me.
Yeah. I tried so hard to look at chat during... Realized that it was so hard to do. Trying to run, dude.
Tare.
Yes, Royce. The numbers in this game are an indicator of age.
So this is the first hard screen of the game. That's all there is to say about it. It's a difficulty spike. Difficulty in this game is all over the place, which isn't a bad thing. It's similar to Crimson Needle in that sense. Very well designed Needle game. The difficulty's not consistent. It's not slowly ramping up as you continue on. Hopefully I don't spend too long here, but it could happen. You have 2 frames to re-jump for that. Darn, that jump's precise. I die to it 50% of the time-ish. And then I still have the last jump, which if you just look at the last jump, what you have to do to reach that portal, I think you can come up with your own opinion on it. It's pretty monk-ass.
Yeah, MQ says there's about a 50-50 chance he'll either make or die on the last bit.
Yeah. It's skill, but I'm hesitant to call it skill.
It's actually needle RNG, the myth.
The jump from this block is frame perfect. Required 5 frame. The block next to the cherry, by the way. Right here. Ever since I started running towards that setup. Nice, it's been a lot easier. Okay, that's honestly one of the scariest rooms in the game done. Not one of the hardest, but one of the scariest. It's a bit of a mood killer if you get stuck there, because the first half is the easier section. So, I'm glad we're past it. 21 isn't very noteworthy, but 22, whew, 22. Probably the
22.
second most well-known screen in the game.
Yeah. Somebody had a time of their life when they were trying to.
I don't know about you, Krakka, but it's the lyrics of 22 from Taylor Swift. I'm feeling 22.
Also, there is an unreasonably large spike in this room, which you may have noticed as it sticks out like a... that one is still the mystery as to what it is, why it's there, and what purpose it serves, but boy is that spike extra large.
Whoa, it's Fraggy. And also, hi Kitty. Kermit's Slight Smile, except FFC hasn't updated yet, so Slight Smile will have to do. Which I also don't think will work. We'll settle for colon in parentheses. That's a cool skip. We didn't find that for a very long time, and when we finally did realize you could just do that, I think everyone who's ever played this game felt very silly. I certainly felt silly.
Oh, now we're into 22, another drastic change screen, and another drastic change in style.
22's a thing. It's hard. It's just hard. Save 1 can take like a minute or, 10 minutes. Almost every save in this area like that goes for. Save 4 especially. Save 4 is the hardest. On a first playthrough, this is probably the hardest though. It's just made easier once you have good strats.
By the way, MQ, since you've played most of Wannabes games, has he made rooms like this with just killer player lines?
I don't know. I've played all of his games, I've cleared all of his games, but I can't answer that. Maybe.
Also, shoutouts to that face on the right-hand side. In case either of you don't see it, you'll probably be seeing it now that I've typed in the chat.
Very, very happy guy. Right in the middle of like one of the hardest jumps in the save.
Whether that was intentional or not, nobody knows but Mr. Wonderful. And for me personally, like, I kind of like the non-traditional, like with,
nice.
did I say needle?
Needle.
Needle. With lines and other kind of objects. I've always been kind of interested in it myself, but I think when I played Sci-Factor's game, which you guys may or may not have known.
Oh my god. Sorry to interrupt you, I just like looked up at the game time, we're 22 minutes in. That is really good pace.
Yeah.
On a good run, I'm here at like 24 minutes in, and on a mediocre run, 30 minutes. So 22 is kind of unbelievable, especially given how nervous I was at the start of this run. I think it was very apparent for the first few floors. So, nice. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Something about
I was
Needle.
just talking about myself anyway, so stuff.
I mean, you're a pretty neat guy. Got you here for a reason.
Thanks, MQ. I think you're
Anytime.
pretty neat with yourself. MQ is a very shy man, but he is quite the experienced player, though. He's the one who helped me originally rise up from where I was at the bottom of the barrel.
I should probably, like, give an actual introduction. I'm MQ. I've been playing Fangames for about 3.5 years now. Involved with the community for probably less. First Fangame I played was, like, Flashy. Way back before I knew anything about them. First Fangame I cleared, which I know how much of a meme this is, but it was Choco Choco. Good times.
Choco Choco? Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I don't
That's
usually...
a great first clear.
I don't usually speedrun games or Fangames, but if you like a game so much, just want to replay it, why not keep a timer when you're doing so? Very similar to Kermit 2, I probably won't be speedrunning this again after the marathon, but I got more than enough time out of it. It's a fantastic game. This is actually my maybe favorite Fangame, I'm not sure. It's either this or Magic Tower Game, which you might have seen earlier this marathon. Frag ran it. Very entertaining run, highly recommend.
Yeah, I think that was around when I first started to know what you're doing, and you did a lot of NAMTV runs and streams.
Thank you, Sephiroth. I might have to refresh the stream again soon enough if it turns out we do have like 44 Kermit emotes. I submitted a lot of them. I made like 22 before the marathon. Very silly. Kind of a terrible use of my time given that I am speedrunning a hard game here, but yeah. I do it for you guys.
Xenoland. That is an unfortunate time in your fan gaming. I hope you do come back from that. Alright, so we're getting into some of the way harder stuff here. By the way, this is the hardest save in this room.
Yeah, this is the save. That jump I just died to, if you have a setup for it, let me know, because I don't. I just go for it, and sometimes it works. It usually doesn't. That's why it's the hardest save in the room.
That very last jump is nasty.
Who knows how to do that one?
It's something like you gotta jump and then you gotta jump again, but you can't jump too low, but you also can't jump
Honestly,
too high.
I don't think jump has been a truer phrase uttered for any other jump. You just jump there, and it works out like 25% of the time. Another nice thing about this game is that if commentary from us lulls at any point, you have sour please.
Very true. There's always the sour thing. There is definitely some points where, boy, does it kind of hit a little bit of a wall, especially with this save. This save is especially taxing. Yep,
this save's a thing. Once we finish this save, we have one more to go. Well, I mean, we have more than one save to go, but we have one more area to go, and then we're at kind of the halfway point. Not in terms of time, but in terms of content. We'll be reaching 30x, which is many areas.
Oh, and just as a side note, I know this looks like a game, but it's probably about an 85 to 90% needle game. There are some other stuff that comes along the way that's just not pure needle, but if you do like needle games, this is a pretty good one for sure.
Out of like the 70 floors of needle in this game, finally, there are 5 bosses and 2 barrages, 2 avoidances, I guess.
Yes!
So,
finally in the next save.
Shoutouts to Screen 29. I don't know why this is in the game, but it is, so yeah.
Well, if we go by anything that we've talked about before, 29 of age in a maze, maybe it was a very difficult time in the kid's life, just didn't know where to go, or what to do.
I've done that before, like at least twice, but it's been so long since I've done that. I just wanted you to hear this song, because I've never heard this song in its entirety.
Yeah, maybe the kid just he wanted to take some time. You never know.
So up next is a barrage. It's not too hard. RNG can be pretty claustrophobic at times, but it's all doable. Also really short. It's like 40-50 seconds.
Sour please, sour please.
Yeah, RNG can be a thing. I would say you don't really die here due to failing to pull off dodges, more so failing to read. Just bullets coming from everywhere, usually pretty fast and very dense.
One thing I've always found very interesting about Mr. One Avoidance is that his avoidances are not like very, very hard. There's like some hard parts, but they themselves are not like the hardest things in the games that they're in. His needle is always like the absolute hardest thing in his games.
Yeah, I think that's always true.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll finally... Dang. I think I had to walk to the left there. I couldn't read it in time. Maybe that'll change in Kermit 3, though. Which will be released someday.
Yeah. For all we know, all of Mr. Wonderful's life experiences and games have led up to the moment that will be Kermit 3. He will then make the most perfect Kermit game in existence, and then his life's masterpiece will be done.
Alright, that's the avoidance. Unless I choke to this. So there are items you collect in this game, but this one does nothing. So normally when you beat a boss in a Fangame, if it spawns an item, collecting that item will open up the warp portal. But in this game, it doesn't. So you can just go to the portal, and the game never checks if you have the item. So it's just faster to skip it. If you want to be like super technical, this is the any % category, and 100% is getting that item. Because there's no content we skip in this game, it's all linear.
Dang. Farewell 100% run. Also, I'm sure you guys have already noticed that the spikes will alternate in colors as you die. And also, Neon Collars, latest and greatest in technology in spikes, dude. I love neons.
We will have to pick up some items later on in the game, but I'll explain why when we get there. It'll be like visually apparent. This save can be a bit troublesome sometimes. It's not the easiest thing in the world. You got like the 16 pixel water thing at the end, you have the drop with the diagonal. It's precise. Hopefully it won't take too long though. Apparently 2 gate deaths is just what I'm feeling today. You know, like not dying to the hard stuff, but gates, it ain't happening. It's like the universe getting revenge on me for not dying to a gate in Jump Master.
Oh yeah, dude. Gates are hard. 2 frames to live. The hardest jumps ever in existence in fan games.
Speaking of, definitely look forward to 3 deaths to the gate. Incredible. Definitely look forward to Jump Master being released after the marathon. Looking like Shadow's plans on updating a decent bit, so...
Yeah, if you guys didn't see the Jump Master contest, it was very good. Of course, Wolfie won, because Wolfie's just MVP of the marathon at the moment. Actually, no, I guess it's not for the moment. Pretty much MVP of the marathon. But the Jump Master was pretty fun. And if you want to practice jumps, it's pretty great.
How about MVP of the marathon? We've had like 4 or 5 world records this marathon.
Oh, true.
The run before this one was a world record.
Oh yeah, that was pretty awesome. I haven't seen too many of the Not I Want to Be the Guy world records, but that was definitely one of them.
Once I get through the 16 pixel, it should be smooth sailing. And then this is probably the second hardest save on the whole screen. I wouldn't even say objectively it's the second hardest. I mean, definitely not the last save's the hardest, objectively. But just for me, I can never seem to do this save. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's okay, because Sour Bliss.
Whoa. Pace is still going pretty darn good for this part. This definitely, the stuff you have to do, gates, diagonals.
Yeah, the pace is fantastic. Like, most runs I'm still in 22 at this point. This is very solid. I would never complain about this pace.
The one prior to this run, Kinata, I think it was called, it's one of the Super Mario 64 ones, Shining Stars 3 Sanctuary of the Star Comet. They got a world record.
There you go.
By about a couple minutes, I think it was.
I also couldn't remember the name. Even more complex names in Fangames.
Yeah, there's some long stuff.
By the way, all the water in this area does not refresh your double jump. Very important to note. So some jumps will be utilizing that, such as this one, where it's just very, very precise. You have to jump into it and then pretty much immediately turn around in order to save your jump for the end.
I myself have never been the greatest with that kind
Nice.
of water. I jump refresh. Nice.
That was the hardest save of the area, in my opinion. I might even say save 1's the hardest now. I've had a lot of runs get stuck on it. But as I said earlier, save 5 is objectively the hardest. Now what do I mean by that? Save 5 is a lot like a pattern avoidance, in that your first time doing it will take a few hours, but past that, like once you've done it a few times, you can do it pretty much every time, just first try. That's what the save is. My first clear of this save took me an hour. It was the longest save in the entire game for me. Meanwhile, I've had many runs where I just first try it.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things in this game that doing this blind, terrible. Not an easy thing to do.
When you die, the water does not keep moving, so you're forced to do it blind, but it isn't that bad, I would say. Most of the deaths are to figuring out the jumps, not really to getting jebaited. Although,
No spoilers allowed here.
yeah, the end of this save is something.
Yeah, just wait till you guys see the end of
Mr. Wonderful pulls something on you.
Mr. Wonderful giveth, and he also taketh, unfortunately.
This is a very precise jump, probably the hardest in the whole segment. You have to jump from the very tip of that water.
Also, I don't know if Bummer's out there, but if you decide to be a madman, and you'll be very sad, so don't do that.
Nice. If you don't swap water here, the water that I was just in will go off screen, and the second water goes just high enough to where you're like 3 or 4 pixels below the portal. You just can't jump into it with a full jump, and then you're forced to die. It is very heartbreaking.
Very much so.
But yeah, we're on to 30x. Like, record pace. Jeez.
Crushing it, dude. Keep it up.
I mean, I'm glad I'm this far ahead, because, like, I'm gonna need the time. There's so much hard stuff later on that I could get stuck on. So 30x gives you 5 different choices in where you want to go. Each path leads to a boss, and beating the boss gives you an item. Every time you collect an item, a spike in the main hub room will go away, and you need to remove all 5 spikes in order to progress. So the first area I'm going to be doing is one of the easier ones. It's the jump refresher area. There isn't too much to say about it, it's just, you know, jump refreshers. Nothing super hard, but also not free. Also Kermit Rad. Not sure if it's still my favorite mode on Twitch though. I've fallen in love with Walla.
And you don't need to adjust your streams at all. The scan lines in the background of this, it kind of threw me for a loop when I first saw this, because I thought it was horribly wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact same effect used earlier in the game, during the water area, when you're like 10, I think.
Oh yeah.
I only noticed that now because you pointed it out earlier.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Does it mean
I don't
something?
know if it's to... Maybe it's like to represent a TV or something, heck, I don't know what they would be going for.
10-year-olds probably
There's-
watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, I mean, the hub room is 3x, which I would assume means 30-something, but these rooms are not labeled, so it's hard to say.
Who knows? Very important you grab this line, otherwise this drops hard.
Got it.
The end of this save is also pretty rough. Along with this re-jump. It's like frame perfect full jump.
Oh, I'm sure somebody has here those typical blind playthroughs, you'll hit that one pretty hard, unfortunately. Yeah, MQ is a very soothing voice. Very calm and collected.
Yeah, you won't see any frustration here. I get sad, not mad. Which is arguably good. I suppose depends what you're looking for in a person. Also, lots of yawns. I think everyone's tired though. Nearing the end of the marathon.
Yeah, it's almost over, but then we got that bonus stream that's coming
Yeah, don't forget about the bonus stream, everyone. Like, the marathon might be over, not after my run, but after Wolsk's and then the ending, which we all know what the ending is, but, you know, we all know. But the bonus marathon's happening, like, 6 or 8 hours after it finishes, and that's super hype. Bonus marathon is just runs that they couldn't schedule in. It's not at all, like, cut content, don't think of it like that. For example, you have Nalawa's 100% classic run, which has like a 6-hour estimate. So that's going to be super fun. Another run to look forward to is Jemmy's Crimson Needle 2 run. I think it's platforming only. I could be wrong though. But platforming only is basically the whole game. Should definitely look forward to that as well. Jemmy is a fantastic Nil player, much better than myself.
I don't know if he's going to do the Crimson Needle 2 boss or not, but we'll probably do up to that point at the very least.
This is the first of the 5 apple bosses. They're pretty RNG heavy, like short RNG heavy. They each have a named component. So now that we got an item, this spike is gone. Once 5 spikes in that little row are gone, we'll be able to access that off-screen section, whatever you want to call it. It'll warp us to the next area.
I know we've long since passed it, but here's another hot Mr. Wonderful tidbit for you. So, I don't know if you guys thought that Goofy and Donald had any type of special representation. Turns out they don't. Mr. Wonderful just saw their picture and was like, oh dude, perfect, and just slapped it on in there. So
shoutouts to that sad kid. He's really sad. Also, shoutouts to the face like underneath me right now at the very bottom of the screen.
Yeah, that seems to like integrating those faces into everything.
Yeah, that face is something. I couldn't tell you what emotion it's trying to convey.
This game takes place in a different universe than the game, so he make that apparent with his style here.
Every time I do a run at this game, I say this is one of the harder saves, and then I don't get stuck on it. I think that's just because my first few runs I got stuck here for a long time. So honestly, I don't know if this is a hard save or not anymore. First playthrough it is.
Patrick.
There's a lot of precise things going on, plus the final jump is yeah, mark ass.
Yeah, this save right here is one of the hardest in the game, pretty much. As you can see by looking at this room, one save room, you've got to do a lot of stuff here. You need absolutely to be consistent for this room. You are going to die a lot. I think a lot of people typically spend a lot of time on this room at their first playthrough.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how long it took me first playthrough, but it was definitely a while.
You can kind of like look through the jumps. You got some kind of nerf planes, you got a side gate, you got some water, got a hot diagonal, and then you can sometimes not even be able to tell where you need to land. It can be very confusing trying to go through this first, so in some of those rooms where you definitely want to sit back and look at where you're going before you jump, which is what I never do.
I mean, no Fangame player does that. You're playing through a game blind, you don't look ahead.
No. Why would you? It's supposed to be blind, the best way to do it.
It's looking like this must be, or not must be, this may be the rare time I get stuck here. We'll see. It's a little worrying that I haven't made it to the end of the save yet. Each area, by the way, is like anywhere from 2 to 5 or so screens, 2 to 6, along with the boss at the end. So they're pretty lengthy.
Yeah, this is the area. This is like kind of like the hub area with these areas, and they all kind of go in different little areas with different little themes.
You can do any area in 30x, like in any order, it doesn't matter. You just can't access the end of the game until you do all 5.
And yes, there is 5, despite the fact there's 4 edges on the screen.
Nice. That is a very,
Oof, there you go.
feels good first try.
Feels amazing, man.
K-party.
Yeah, it seems that the kind of one of the recurring themes in the area too. Save rooms. They are especially fun to do.
The save can be hard, but I usually don't have trouble with it. That's why I didn't really even react to that death near the end. It's been a long time since I've died there, though. Most attempts at this save, I do that entire ending segment without dying. I think it's a lot easier than it looks.
Yeah,
Started
it does
different
look
there.
a bit like it, Patrick. You're certainly right about that. I would say potentially that Mr. Wonderful actually liked that type of style and just wanted to bring it back. In addition to making it harder, of course. I think those rooms in Kermit 2 were one save rooms also, except maybe for a few of the rooms, I think. Do you
I think
remember
it's
the
the
32
background
pixels?
that reminds you of it, Pat. And also, like, I think the spikes in that area are a single color. It's been like a year since I played Kermit 2 though, so I could be misremembering. What were you gonna ask, Krakka?
Oh, I was just going to ask if you remember if they were also one save room, 32 pixel
Oh,
area.
they weren't. But this
No, they
area
weren't.
isn't either, so. 32 pixel, I believe most rooms were 2 saves. The last, like, 2 rooms were 1 save.
Yeah, that's the problem, Patrick. There's no numbers. All we know is that this is probably from 30 to 39, but who knows which one comes first, which one comes last. It's hard to say.
It's like a choose your own adventure book.
Yeah,
can decide.
basically. Maybe the order doesn't matter because the end is the same.
It's all about the destination, not the journey, right? Something like that.
Wait,
I might be
no,
misremembering
no.
it,
It's about the journey, not the destination.
but- Ooh, that is interesting. It has been a long time since I've had trouble on the save. Very surprised by my deaths near the end. It's much more common to struggle on like the invert at the start.
Yeah, the water invert's pretty rough.
Yep.
It's also an invert, period.
Slightly easier than a normal invert since you can re-jump in the water at the very end of it. Plus you fall slower. Not a big deal though. We're super ahead, so.
Yeah, there's a reason the estimate for this is almost 2.5 hours. There's
It's
a
a
lot
very,
of potential.
Oh, you can go?
Huh?
What were you saying? I interrupted you. So.
Oh, no, I just said there's a reason for estimate. Obviously, the rooms are not easy, even for veteran players.
This is a pretty difficult needle game. Definitely not one of the harder games in the marathon, though. Things like Crimson Needle 2, I think, is very comparable to this game in terms of the average save length. And I would say Crimson Needle 1. I would say that that's a harder game than this. Gosh, 4 deaths there. K3 was run. Emperor is probably harder than this.
What
Handful
about
of
7
games.
colors?
7 colors is a different kind of difficulty. I don't know if it's harder. It's so much more focused on like low jump inputs, cancels, very, very, very short saves, sometimes only just a jump long. I don't think it can really be compared.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys didn't see that 7 Collars run, like me, definitely worth a watch. It's Bummer's incredibly good at those low inputs and cancels. I was dumbfounded the whole time he was the one.
I can tell you that it's not a game I thought would ever be speedran, yet alone speedran at Fangame Marathon.
Yeah, I think he got world record because hardly. I mean, I don't think
He
one
did get
person...
world record. Just by like 3 or 4 minutes.
You guys want to beat 7 Collars? Almost free world record. Almost. Just do it in under hour 40, I think it was.
It was like 122, 124.
122?
The previous world record I think was 126. Or maybe 220, 126 sounds right. We're all tired. Someday I'll get through this save and the sun can stop putting you to sleep, but someday. Honestly, this is what I expected to happen on like floor 20, so totally fine with it happening this late.
That's actually a pretty great question. It's the difficulty of all the hacks that we in this marathon. Some of them are quite off the wall. Like, I could never imagine doing any of the wrong hacks blind. Like, it's just some of the stupidest, dumbest stuff where they put these stars at. I don't even, dude.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine as to like how I Want to Be the Bunny was ran. That game looks incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I would say it'd probably be comparable on this Mario Treasure World. That one was pretty tough when I was watching him play it.
It's maybe a world's first. I might spend longer here than I did on my first playthrough. Hope you're prepared.
Oh yeah. I mean,
5 deaths at the end.
If you ever are curious about an approachable Mario like ROM hack, the one that was run before this one, this Shining Stars 3 Sanctuary Star, that one looked like it was actually decent.
There we go. Gosh. By the way, another this is I think the only other place in the game where it happens, but this is a very like short screen transition. So if you hold right here and walk off, you can do that to save yourself. I've done that in a run, and that's how I discovered it. So it's pretty good on Mr. Wonderful. Anyway, back to the game. We have 2 more shortish saves. Still pretty hard. Glad I didn't get stuck here. I've been doing that lately.
Oh, okay, so you guys do agree that it is Treasure World that was the hardest. Yeah, it definitely looked like it was.
This save is mostly difficult for the jump in the bottom right corner. It's just so awkward to do. And then after this, we're up to another boss. The only 2 noteworthy bosses in this whole thing are going to be coming up kinda soon. They are not very nice, very RNG dependent. I'm not looking forward to them. But the other 3 are very chill fights. Not too hard.
Oh, and for those of you who are curious about how hard Figure is, probably somewhere in the 80s out of 100, if you're curious.
I think I gave this an 85, maybe an 80 though. I don't know. Probably an 85.
Definitely in the 80s at least.
My first playthrough of this game was a little over 8 hours.
Good lord, I would spend a lot more than that.
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful was also pretty shocked by that clear time. Like, that's very above average.
Oh, really? That's right, because it wasn't a 100% run, was it? I wouldn't be surprised, Sizzling Mario. I would not be surprised.
I'm honestly, like, very shocked at 1, my deaths here, but like 2, the fact that I'm not dying in the bottom right corner. I think I'm even more surprised by the second fact, because that jump is so precise. Or not even so precise, it's just so awkward.
Dang, Egg. That's rough, dude. I'll probably spend like an hour on the first screen.
Yeah, it's a rough game. Like, I've never seen anything like that diagonal in another game. Okay, that's the area done. Almost. We got a boss. Go ahead and stretch. Whew.
67 more. Good lord, dude.
Once again, RNG heavy. Short boss. There isn't too much to say, it kind of speaks for itself. I couldn't
Right.
jump there, otherwise the RNG would have caught up and killed me. So, just accepted my death.
91. I'm sure you can do it, Sizzling Mario. I have not seen you play, but I'm confident that you'll be able to accomplish what only few have. Trying to think if there's anything like that in I Want to Be the Guy community.
Whew, God. Boss, like, it's never done that before. That was terrifying. Oh my god, okay. That's the fastest I've ever done that save. Ever. I have runs where I spend over 5 minutes on that save. We're not even going to talk about it though, just pretend that it's free. On to Sour Please.
Oh yes, dude, Mega Sour Please.
I mean, honestly, we didn't leave Sour Please, but like, Sour Please.
Yes. Dude, this is classic Love Down Under.
I also don't know how I did the corner after accidentally grabbing the battle line.
So what would you guys say is something that only a handful Be the Guy have accomplished? I keep trying to think of something similar.
I can think of things that only one person has accomplished. A handful, though. Probably beating Task 2.
Well, Task,
I've seen
yeah.
like 2 or 3 players of Task 2.
Not the actual tool. It's actually a game called Task.
Yeah, but the sequel to Task.
Oh, it's a sequel.
No one has beaten. I don't think anyone's beaten Task. The boss is too humanly impossible. Lots of people have beaten the platforming though.
It's kind of ironic. Actually, that's
Has
impossible.
more than one person done that, Pat? The only one I know who's done it is 10 Shots, by the way. Fade Face.
Oh, Kinata beat Task 1. Oh, there you go.
Oh right, I forgot he did that.
He found a glitch. Oh.
Yeah. It's a good clear. It's up on his
Wow.
YouTube, I believe. I recommend watching it after this run, or during this run. Or I won't judge.
I remembered one too. I think Call Me It Extra is something that very few cleared as well.
Here I grab the align above the save. It just helps for the squish diagonal, which is way easier than it looks. Okay, hardest
Also
jump in the game.
Hardest jump in the game!
In practice, I first tried this. We're not gonna first try it, but yeah, just so you know. I could spend a minute here, or I could spend 20 minutes here. It's that inconsistent. You can, there you go. 2-framed. That is a required 3-frame. I set up the kid to where a 3-frame will get me through, and a 2-frame happened. That's just needle RNG. If I press my shift key on my keyboard for as lightly as possible, it will 3-frame most of the time, but rarely it'll 2-frame.
Rip.
So, basically, yeah, rip.
Another good example of good guy Mr. Wonderful. He makes switch that actually only trigger once. He wants to keep triggering them.
If you beat this area and then decide to go back into it for some reason, all the switches are already be hit.
Yeah. I wish a lot of games did that, man. I hate hitting switches and having to go back.
The reason, by the way, why this is like... yeah, it's probably the hardest jump in the game, but also, in my opinion, the worst, is that going into it from left to right, it's a required 4-frame into a frame-perfect rejump. The 4-frame position's also like frame-perfect. And then going right to left, it's a required 3-frame, and the rejump's pretty precise. Again, you could 2-frame it going right to left, but it's RNG for me. So I have a 3-frame setup
almost.
that works, assuming I don't 2-frame. Also, I can't tap right for like a single frame, so I have to do that stupid setup. I think that's a 2-frame again. I honestly couldn't tell that time though.
Almost quadruple frame.
Anyway, I'm feeling fine about this, given that I haven't died after the TNT trigger.
Hermit Rad.
Not too worried.
Oh, now that you guys have actually seen a couple of the bosses, I'll drop to you the last tidbit that I got from Mr. One about this game. He is actually quite inspired by Hidao and Klein. Hidao may be familiar as he did Catharsis, and Klein may sound familiar because he was the one who did Emperor. And from both of these guys, he kind of gained inspiration for these bosses, and he said that he wanted to make the bosses in this game that he wanted them to be simple, but yet also challenging at the same time. So that's what
Okay, we're done.
Oh,
sorry to interrupt
GG.
you.
That's okay. Nice. So if you're wondering why his bosses seem like a departure, he was doing these with the thoughts of Klein and Hidao.
That is honestly the scariest save left in the run, so I'm glad it's over with. I just 3-frame that gate. Like, I didn't even try to do it like a gate. I went for a 3-frame and I got the 3-frame and then I 3-framed the gate. Who knows what was going on in my head? Yeah, I didn't know that, Krakka.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too. I didn't know that those two guys had really inspired him. Which, very interesting.
Right here, there's a skip. We are going to fall all the way back down because it's easier to do this than to do this mess. And because triggers are global, once you hit one and save, it's pressed forever. So now I can redo this easy save.
Also, while we're still having to be in here before MQ beasts the rest of this, each of these rooms has each of the sides of the hub has a gimmick. However, when I talked to Mr. Wonderful about this room, he gave me a Kappa B because this room actually doesn't really have a gimmick. It's actually just needle, but it really looks like it has a gimmick because you're hitting the button.
I mean,
in reality,
it technically has a single gimmick. The trigger in the top right in the screen does change the platforming. It doesn't just, like, open up a new path, like, changes the needle, I don't know.
he said the dynamite was a clever way to make it seem like there's a gimmick when it's actually just needle. Kappa B.
So he's just lazy. Nice. So we're now on to the second hardest and second worst boss in this area. This is one of the two bosses I don't like. It's very RNG dependent, it's very easy to choke, it's just a mess, and I hack. Just I hack. I believe the direction that the yellow cherries start shooting at is completely random. And also many can spawn at once, so you do have to, like, you know, crowd control. Oh my god, RNG.
Oh wow.
Incinat. I should go up one more. I don't want to hit the portal without the item. Incinatos. Next
what
up
the hell,
is the
dude?
jungle.
What? Have you ever done it that fast?
No.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about it, Krakka.
Oh my god, dude. That was... What? Dude, what?
I'm trying not to think about the fact that this is sub 130 pace, okay? We're just not going to think about it.
What the fuck, dude?
Note, my world record, I mean, you could call it a world record, no one else ever speedran this. My PB in this game is 148. So, yeah. I don't know where I was at, like, this point in my PB, but it wasn't here. Anyway,
well, since the boss
is rough.
this boss is already gone, the apples that it does spawn, eventually they do fill the room and you will die, guaranteed, if you don't shoot the apples, cherry, whatever the heck you want to call them.
Yeah, you just get
Not that it
overwhelmed,
matters.
and you can't climb up once, like, 2+ spawn.
Or
the
you
save
could
isn't
just,
actually hard.
you know, kill a couple, kill the boss, then you're done, Kappa B.
Yeah, once you kill the boss, all of the ones on screen despawn. So you can just go for the boss if you're able to. It's rough. This is a jungle, cycle-based, platforms, vines. It's like the most forgettable area in the entire game, probably. It's just kinda there. It's like middle of the road in terms of difficulty. There isn't anything super special. There's some memorable saves, but I don't know. I always forget this exists.
Shoutouts to Fraggy for teaching us all Spanish during his run. What a great guy. I learned so much Spanish that day. La puta madre is my favorite, though.
The last time for this save is not free. die to it every once in a while.
Got it.
Alright. I feel like I need to learn how to roll my tongues just for that one word. Just so I can fit in this community. But yeah, this is very good pace.
Don't fall asleep in queue, come on.
It's not a very interesting area, I'm sorry. It's not bad, it's just the jungle. Also, it's like, it's very tiresome music. Tiring.
In queue on world record pace, he's going resident on us here.
I mean, world record pace, you know, it happens every day. It's not a special
Yeah,
thing.
oh, yeah. Especially when you're running by yourself, constant world record pace.
I don't know why I didn't restart on the save, but I didn't, like, set up the cycle. So, I'm silly, basically. Figuring out the cycle first playthrough, by the way, is just, it's 200 IQ. I'm pretty sure, like, some people just look this up. I spent a long time on this save trying to figure it out. Because not only do you have to get through the apples, which is its own problem, but even after you get through the apples, you have to land on the platform, which just isn't there, like, 80% of the time. So, it's something.
Also, get hyped for almost getting to the worst boss of the game, by the
I
way.
can't really wait. I'd love to just spend some more time here. I might intentionally die just so I don't have to deal with that.
That's how great this boss is. Not that it's a badly designed boss, but boy is it a...
Oh no, it's badly designed. What are you talking about? Go defending that thing.
Okay, well...
Does not deserve your respect.
I cannot blaspheme this wonderful our Lord and Savior, dude. I can't do this. I'm glad you did that.
I'm glad Taku, I believe is her name, really enjoyed that. Just hear like faint female laughing in the distance.
I call it the Pokeball boss personally because that's what it reminds me of. It's fucking choices. I'm glad that everybody agrees here.
Oh gosh. Anyway, someday I'll beat this save. The next save is probably the hardest in the area. Once again, not too bad, but these saves are long. It's patterns. Hard stuff is usually at the end.
Oh, nice. Not a speed run if you die, guys. Always remember.
Yeah, this is more of a one video completion.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna blame that death on chat. I looked over and saw orange in my peripheral, so I looked over thinking it was Cone, but it was just Patrick.
Jebaited, dude. Got him.
Very jebaited.
Oh.
I feel like I just found out the boss rush was complete.
Dude, that was the most jebaited I might have ever been in my life.
It took us like 3 minutes to find out. It just boss rush done. We did it.
We did it? Did we actually do this? We did it? I think we did it, guys.
What a VOD. What a run.
Oh, what a run.
You got me, Tear. Yeah, this save's just difficult. We haven't even gotten into the really hard... Well, not even really hard, but there's a weird jump partway through it that I'm kind of scared of. First of all, drop gate. This thing. I don't know how you do that. I made it in JTool and couldn't figure out how. There's probably a strat, but I don't know it. It's just hard.
Well, soon enough, MQ, you'll be making an I Wanna Maker, which is coming out sometime in the next 2 years.
Very excited. 2 years of hype.
Very excited. Yes, dude.
It's an
Solid
incremental game
hype.
all over again.
I also cannot wait for that. In case you guys didn't see the reveal of Maker, you probably should. It's pretty grand. Shout outs to Patrick, who had a hand in that as well. Probably a very large, manly hand in that.
Anyway, once I do this save, which it's not over yet, this isn't free, we have an easy save, and then the boss, so we're getting there.
22.
The save is mostly just like the apples in the platform. The start of it doesn't really matter. By far the hardest jump is landing on the ledge, which includes the weird spike formation you have to jump over. This thing.
Dude, by that time we'll just be walking brain cases or something. God, why are we going up by thousands? It's getting crazy now.
We'll kill the guy. Wait, what? My joke. I just went to say whoa Krakka and then my joke came out, like I spoiled the punchline.
Oh my god, no!
Goodness.
MQ, you freaking spoiled
I'm
it,
so
dude.
brain blasted right now.
I'm in shock, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, is Rec 2 out?
Rec 2, 20 something, maybe. I always keep praying for Rec 2 because Rec's my favorite.
Is it time for Z4, not Z4, K4 on Unity?
Oh, it's K4 on Unity. Oh. Future of Fangames, dude.
Man, those
Oh my
were the
God.
days. Like before the K3 updates, just hype of, not hype, but like rumors of K4 on Unity. And by rumors, I mean Camellia saying on Twitter K4 on Unity. But yeah, you can call it a rumor.
We got Z4 before K.
I'm surprised we got Z4 end of sentence.
Or maybe it's not actually called Z4 last.
I'm also surprised I've died on the platform 3 times at the end, but it's kind of a hard jump, so I forgive myself.
Dude, Frag, I know. I'm very hyped for the rest percent, dude. Oh my god. It's gonna be the best run of the marathon, actually. Apple 3 Yo Sniper engine. What the hell? Patrick, you've gone too deep, dude. That's crossing the line. Excuse me.
Help.
I'm sorry.
This has become one of the hardest saves in the run, and I don't know how I let that happen. It's taking control.
You gotta wake up, MQ. You're in a dream.
This isn't Kermit 2. I'm not in a dream within a dream.
Or are you?
I hope not. I hope I'm not dreaming this really good pace run. I'll wake up tomorrow and none of this happened. It's time to spend like 20 minutes on screen 20.
Oh no.
You know, you get sick, so it's just me commentating alone.
Oh no, dude.
I've died. I think that's like okay. That's... So just then my finger refused to cooperate, so... Got like a mental block going on now. A psychological battle has been waged with that platform, and I'm losing it.
Platforms are cruel, man.
Or it's just
I've
a hard
never
jump and I've
been-
died there 4 times, you know. You can make
Or
up your own
it could be that. Could be that.
reasoning.
I don't know, if you saw Wannamaker though, dude, the platform apparently is a killer object, so
Yeah, if you're upside down, just it isn't having it.
mentally or physically, it's quite the killer.
Anyway, someday we'll beat this area. I can get to the Sour Please, that is the next area. Next area has my I don't know about my 2 favorite songs in the whole game. The Boys Are Back in Town is up there.
Oh, crap, now I'm falling asleep.
It's contagious.
Come on, MQ, we gotta wake up here.
I'm doing
Do
my
it.
best. This platform isn't I've 5 times.
This platform, dude. Please delete platform. Put something else in place. Or just make it sit still.
This is definitely worse than my first playthrough, so... I can do this.
You got this, dude.
Mhm.
So that platform
Hydrated
is
bot is here for me. 4.4 liters of water, I'm on it. Gonna quickly take a sip.
Just reminded me I should drink some water. Not 4 liters, though. A lot.
Maybe not a good idea.
Can your stomach even hold use the water? I don't think it can. Oh. Yeah, I've never sat around and drank two 2-liter bottles of something, but I guess we're good.
Skill like kind of fluctuates just as I do a run. I can't play really well the whole time. It's just too long of a run for that. Although this platform thing is definitely a mental block. Not really sure what's up with it. There's no legitimate reason why I'm dying to it so much. Oh my god, is it finally? We're through it. Impossible.
We did!
It's like more exciting than me doing any of the hard saves quickly.
God, dude.
I think that took 5 minutes. More? I don't know. It's over though. The nightmare has ended. We can continue the run.
Oh my god, dude. Yes.
I've never felt this happy.
Freedom.
K-party. S-party too.
Definitely calls for some K-party.
You know, throw in a Kermit Rad.
Put your hands up! Mm. Not because you're being arrested.
There. It isn't a big deal though, the save is free. There we go. Okay, on to the worst boss. This is the worst boss, that's all there needs to be said.
Worst boss, the Pokeball boss.
It has a lot of health, there's a lot of RNG, there's a lot of just not really reactable RNG. It's just the worst boss. You stay on the platform, you get squished. Just wanted to show that off.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier than like me explaining it and then it never happening. Gives you a good idea for why I'm always jumping off.
Thought you were safe, you were wrong. Not that easy, unfortunately.
This could take a minute, this could take 10 minutes, I don't know. I don't think it's very skill-based. You just hope apples don't spawn on your side of the screen, because you're that close to the edge you can't really react to them. Also, apples are constantly aimed at you and they bounce, which is just the best.
Absolutely the best.
They can bounce on the floor and the ceiling as well. There's a little block on the ceiling there. Gosh, this boss.
Stop that.
Into my bedroom. After you kill all 6 small apples, you can finally hurt the big apple, which also has like 6 health and very long iframes. But the only solace is that after you kill the small apples, he stops aiming at you and the RNG changes. It just works differently, and thankfully it's actually like skill-based then. So that's nice. But until then, it's very RNG-based. Yeah, weird. And avoidance. I'm used to setting RNG seed to 1 and then just work my magic. Every avoidance is a pattern for me.
That's the best way to do it. Definitely gotta set it to 1. That's what I do too.
Yeah, I taught you that.
Yeah.
That's how you got so good.
It's how I got so good. If it wasn't for you teaching me that, dude, I never played it. Especially through pieces like 7-man avoidance at the end of C2. God.
Congrats on the world record also.
Sick world record, sort of ish.
Yeah, it's a world record in the category.
Ours, its run probably wasn't legal anyway. Probably didn't. So what?
Oh, does he have a time in that category?
Ours, it did it, like he saw me playing it, and he made a stream, started playing it, and called it Beat Krakka %.
I didn't know this.
I am not kidding, he did. People were telling me in chat, like, dude, ours is doing Beat Krakka % right now. I'm like, you guys... They're like, yeah. God, dude. Cry every time.
I'm surprised I lived. I probably should have died due to jumping so high. Jeez, someday this boss will die. Really, the small apples will die. I don't care if the boss dies. I just want him to stop shooting at my face. I mean, he stopped, but there were still apples on screen from that RNG that I couldn't look at. So, rip.
Unreadable RNG, what face?
Once we're done with this, it's not it for the run. There's still hard stuff, but this is the hardest thing by far left. 42 is left, which is a very long screen near the end of the game. It's the longest save in the entire game. And that's about it for hard saves.
Jeez.
I just got
Yeah,
God
it's
RNG,
basically-
and I think I threw. No, I didn't throw. Okay. So as you see, he's not aiming at me. I can read this. It's wonderful. I don't have to go up, by the way. I can just wait for better RNG. Like this.
Like for good RNG. Slow and steady wins, man.
1 HP, just play it safe. No need to risk anything. And we're done. Woo.
Yeah.
One area left. And then we're done with 30x. This game isn't over in an area.
Now we gotta do the bottom right.
Sour Please. One of my
Sour
favorite songs in this game. This is the
Ooh.
easiest area of the 5. It's only 2 screens long. Plus a boss. I don't know why this area is so easy, but I don't mind it. It's fun platforming. This is the only hard save. Upside down gates are impossible.
Ah.
There's nothing to say, it's just Sour Please. You have to grab this arrow before you hit the trigger. Otherwise you just can't, like, do anything. You can hit the trigger upside down, but then you die. Because there's nowhere to land.
Legal cheating. Definitely some high legal cheating.
Darn, frame late.
Also because I have to gravity area Dan's game. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, no legal cheating here. Sorry to say. I'm just doing my best to avoid the OFR. I have too many black market games saved. I mean, what?
I have black market games now too.
I'm saying
God help
like
me.
black market saves.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's kind of like
Thank
a
goodness
stock
we're not
market.
live streaming or anything. I wouldn't want anyone to find
No.
us out.
That's usually the best thing. You basically just download all the games, and then as soon as they become private, get that value, dude. Get that value out of it.
You know, sell them for all the Apple II beta copies you want.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like the
Those are-
gold of the world.
Oh yeah.
It's never going to go
That's
down
like
in
the
value.
standard.
Once again, easy area, but this is the hardest save. Once I get done with this, it'll be smooth sailing. And you got like a 5-frame gate here. Getting into the gate is frame perfect if you full jump into it. Landing on this block's precise, just lots of little stuff. It's all upside down too, which makes it a lot harder. I'm not used to upside down platforming, I only do it in this game.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that Patrick is going wee woo wee woo. Those of you who've seen that SpongeBob episode of Patrick doing exactly that, pretty damn good.
Okay, last save. Pretty easy one.
Easy mode. Wow.
And on to the boss. Shoutouts to Egg for best strats. You hold left. That's the strat.
This is the boss. Just hold left.
It works better than any strat called, like, hold left for 30 seconds has any right to. It came out jumbled. Point is hold left, you win.
Really, you actually died.
Yeah, it's... like, when you shoot the boss, it slightly speeds up. So if you shoot him on weird frames, sometimes you're forced to jump. And if you're forced to jump, then the strat is ruined. But it's pretty uncommon. I'm very surprised it happened twice in a row. 3 times in a row? Okay. That's some bad muscle memory going on.
Ketchup and mustard.
Alright,
Oh.
this is weird. It's consistently happening. I think my game is cursed.
That's gonna bring down the value, MK. You can't be done.
Can't be selling cursed games.
No. That is the opposite of good.
Or maybe it wasn't, and I'm just re-jumping for no reason. That might also be the case. Anyway, sour please, seriously. We're done, also. That's the boss.
That's the boss. Yep, that was it.
Oh my god, this pace. Okay, one area left. It's over here.
Yep.
I was lost for a second, but I found where I was going.
Good. You know, I think the most hilarious and ironic thing about all of this MQ is that we were running like very behind in the marathon. And you might just save the marathon at the very end of the marathon.
I mean, I'm really just like saving Wolf's sleep schedule. Or I guess whoever else is saying goodbye at the very end. Some sort of secret race. Yeah, we're nearing the end. We're on to 40. We're finally back to numbers. These numbers are all going to be in a row. We have to do 5 screens.
Also, you might have seen this mechanic slash gimmick before in Nang, where your body just slides across so slightly. You jump out of it. Although in Nang,
unlike Nang, it ends once you hit a wall, and you can't like prematurely stop it. Here you also can't stop it early, but it only lasts for like half a second. Very short period of moving to the right.
I'm so dead.
I think everyone's dead, Wolsk.
Yeah.
We're all ready for this to end, and yeah, we still have a bonus marathon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, time zones. It's never over.
Is it? Oh my god, it's already past. Oh yeah, I guess it's today. In about 8 hours from now, get ready to look forward to Classic by Nalawas. It's gonna be good. He's gonna die a lot too, and it's gonna be like 8 hours long, but who cares? It's gonna be great.
This save is a little hard. Not too surprised I'm struggling on it. The top has some precise jumps. And then plus there's the drop.
I appreciate you, Frag. I appreciate you.
It's gonna take a moment to adjust my headset. It's been adjusted.
Eleven and a half hours, man. I never said I was good at math, or don't do this to me. Thank goodness Fangames do not require. Well, okay,
hopefully next year we can get a donation incentive for Frag Girl.
Dude, I would love to see that donation incentive. That means I don't know how much money we would need for him to do Frag Girl. We'll make that a cheap one because I want to see it bad, actually. Sorry, Frag. Maybe on Friday. Whoa, little squall.
Yeah, let's go. But like the variant where you don't have $5 and you just hit the W and O keys on your keyboard. Whoa. I just had the realization that like I've been sitting in the same uncomfortable position of having my legs crossed for an hour and a half, and upon realizing that and moving my legs, one of them is just dead. So that's where I am now. I thought you should all know that. I'm just too focused on the run.
Can we get 500 likes for Q's dead leg? So sad, man.
So sad. Come on, nice. I sometimes die to that. It's not a super easy
Nice.
timing.
That was good.
I should have restarted. I have a terrible cycle. I don't actually know the cycle here. I just do the save. There we go. The save is free. I don't know why. The save is not free, but it's pretty easy. There's a diamond at the top that you do have that you have to do in an awkward way. And then there's this thing, which is just choke central on first playthroughs. It's okay, I'm good at diamonds now that I play Jump Master.
Oh my god, a widget that explains everything. Blood is all in his arms.
Dude, you did it, Widget. That's how I'm on world record days.
That's exactly what happened. Oh my
Please
god,
don't
dude,
sell
we need
my
to cross your
stats.
legs more.
I'm gonna write a book with us, sell it to speedrunners. You won't believe how this guy got world record. 5 easy steps.
Dude, that's the clickbait of the century right there. Fraggy putting away the sausage.
That might be even more impressive than my run frag.
That is pretty impressive. That's a lot of... I don't think I've ever put that much sausage away in my...
If no one is able to apply or comply, I'll have to put a pair of beef in chat, but hopefully someone out there is able to.
Piece of cheese came through the... He got the sausage. Sausage crosses, I guess. Same difference.
Thank you. Okay. So I had time to write the first half of it, so pair is now in chat. So next time I have to wait on a cycle, I'll write in the beef.
Don't emotes one bit at a time. Oh, you cleared it, dang.
So this is 42. It's really long. That's it. It's just really long. I could technically spend forever here, but I don't think I will. I've gotten good at this room. It's just the consequence to it being so long and difficult.
Also, we're back to the bioluminescent kid. Still don't know how this happens.
The difficulty picks up once you hit that jump refresher, or gravity switcher. It's like dying off screen there is very common. It's pretty precise rejump timing, like 2 frames maybe. Thank you, by the way, 44.
44! Oh my god, 44 the hero. I'm glad I lived long enough to see this emote combo. You're not supposed to let them touch. You know, it's just like dealing with streams and Ghostbusters. You don't let them touch or cross. Just violating everything in 44. But I like your style.
On a first playthrough, this is probably like top 3 hardest rooms. Personally, for me, the water save earlier took the longest, but this took a while as well. Especially at like the very top. I am... Gosh, game, please don't stutter frames. Not like, you know, pretty far through a hard save. Or long saves.
Gravity's back again. Dan's game. Ouch.
Very occasionally this game like drops frames, just stutters, lags, whatever you want to call it, but it's not the game's fault. The computer's
Alright,
been weird
44.
lately.
Too far now we're going into the hentai area. Family friendly, dude.
Don't ask why that setup works, it just does. Also, don't ask how that worked. Sometimes when you get to the very last jump of this save, you need to jump into the gap, but you don't, and then you bonk and it works.
Oh my god.
I'll be honest with you, it's luck, but I'm gonna pretend it's skill, and
Wow.
that I deserve that, which I didn't, and yeah. So that's 42. This is
I don't know if
43,
we go to the top of
it's
this.
free. And 44 is pretty easily, but not free. I could take a few minutes here. And then that's it for platforming. Not a guaranteed world record, because there's still a hard barrage, but really good run. Incredibly impressed with myself.
Yeah. 45 is the final room in this place. This game.
After my first run of this game, which was again the world record as of now, it was just that incredible of a run. I submitted my estimate, which was 225. And every practice run since then has been underestimate, but it's been pretty close. Like, I think my longest practice run was about 222. So I wasn't really worried about the estimate, just this run. Just, I don't know. Staying entertaining, keeping it going. It's not super fun to watch someone stuck on needle for 20 minutes during a speedrun. Thankfully that didn't happen though. So this is a barrage. There's 2 hard segments in this, and the rest is, avoidance. Not really barrage. 2 hard segments, the rest is whatever. Not super easy, not super hard. Bunch of pattern segments.
Yeah, I think maybe this classifies as like a mini barrage.
There's barrage-ish attacks.
Yeah, there's definitely some barrage.
That curbing is harder to read than dodge. This is the first of the 2 hard attacks. Yeah, that was pure skill. I swear I read that. You have to stay in the middle, otherwise you get walled on the sides. This is the other one. This one's hard. Really hard, sometimes. Other times it's pretty free. It only gave me 1 hard dodge, which was new to start. What a kind lad. This doesn't look okay. It didn't look good, but it was okay.
Whoa.
Spooky.
Whoa. Definitely getting spooky in here.
RNG's also spooky. You may jump many times.
How many is the real question?
Like 200 something. We found out during the marathon. I forgot.
Oh.
It's like Emperor, I think. Just tells you your jump count after the end of it.
Yeah.
You can stand in between these. It makes this dodge easier if you get good RNG. You don't have to worry about dodging the ones coming up. Here's the Monk S pattern. If I die here, you can call it a choke, because it's pattern. I give you permission to call it a choke. That's not really the Monk S part. Monk S is coming up.
Debated, dude.
And here's the Monk S. These orbs are pattern, and this is RNG. And that's the run. Time is on the white screen.
What? Who?
Oh my god, that time! 12 minutes under world record. That is something. That is something.
Yeah, 136. Mine was slightly less, but probably that is correct.
Oh yeah, I can finish my beef. Pair of beef. Very important. Oh my god. What a
world
run.
record and finish the beef at the end, dude. Amazing.
I don't think I got stuck on anything that was hard. I got stuck on some easy stuff. Spent too long in the jungles, spent a while on 22. Some saves.
Shit,
anyway,
dude.
It doesn't matter. That was really good.
This is like almost an hour under us.
Yeah, note that my estimate, all my practice runs were between 152 and 222, and I did like 6 or 7 practice runs.
You
So my
definitely have
estimate was a good
single-handedly
estimate. Just
brought us back on schedule right
Yeah.
before the end.
really
Thank
far ahead.
God.
God, what a run.
God
So,
bless.
before I talk anymore, I'm going to show something off. Now, as I said earlier, there's no extra content in this game. Like, this is 100% run, this is any percent, didn't get this item. There's no extra content. But there is one thing I wanted to show off. So earlier in the marathon, you may remember that there was a special run called Not Another Magic Tower Game, ran by Fraggy. And while that was a really good run, and Frag picked it up a lot during the end, it was not underestimated, so he wasn't able to show some stuff off. So I'm going to go ahead and show one thing off that people were looking forward to during that run.
Oh yes, dude. Oh yes. I am 100% moist right now. This is gonna be good.
And after this, I'll hand it back over to Wolsk. So, in the tower, during Frag's run of this game, he went up into each of these jail cells, he freed the dudes, he got crystals. With those crystals, he went on to unlock and beat 4b6, and then the final boss he fought. If, however, you grab the crystal, and then for whatever reason, just decide to keep talking to these 2 old men who really think you're cool, well, this happens. Enjoy. And I'll go ahead and let the credits roll since we couldn't see them during the Magic Tower game run. Whoa, who's that guy? Magic Tower game is... Turn up the music? Yes, please. I should turn down OBS since Krakka's gonna be super loud. There you go. That should be better. This is probably my favorite fan game. It's either this or Figure. Both are just expertly made. I absolutely love the design and Figure, but Magic Tower game is just so unique in what it does. There's no other fan game like it.
The gay ending is arguably the best ending in that game. It is glorious.
Is it arguable? I think it's just the best ending. Oh, who's that guy? Or that guy? Or that guy?
Who are these people?
I don't know. They're people. Dude, it's fast. Yeah, that was Figure. That was an incredible run. I'm shocked by it. Can't like form thoughts. Oh, hi Frag. I decided to show off the gay ending because I accidentally got 12 minutes under my world record. This is all for you. Kappa Pride. Alright. Yeah, this is also Magic Tower game world record. Gay ending %. Oh. Shoutouts to Geether. Shoutouts to whoever made this game. It's a good meme. I'd recommend anyone play this game. Even if you've never played a Fangame, I Want to Be This Strong is a good game to start with.
MQ, please. This is a trap. Don't listen to him.
No, it's a beginner-friendly game. What are you talking about? You know, while you're at it, please play as well. I Want to Go a Magical Journey. Go on the Magical Journey, I believe. Sorry for butchering its name. I think that's it. Gaining % is probably an actual thing. I hope it is. It'd make me happy.
Absolutely.
So
I don't know if has anybody even run gay ending?
I don't have anything else to show off, and I think Wolsk wants to go to bed, so if he wants to, hop in here, we can end it off, or we can go to a transition if he needs time to prep.
Oh my god, I totally forgot I was supposed to...
Yeah, you're the host. Hi.
With somebody. Oh boy, well, I'm still here. And, well, I guess I'm still here. Alright, me, your host, Krakka Cafe, will now, man, I didn't expect us to end an hour early. I don't know what to be doing.
Sorry for getting world record, my bad. I'll do this next time.
I guess Wolsk is gonna come in here and do some stuff, with the drawing of the guy. Yes.
That's we exactly got Draw My Guy next. A new game made for this marathon, never seen before.
Never, ever seen before. It's gonna be great, so definitely stay tuned for that. And,